Hello everyone, this is part 7 of What If Naruto Failed and Chose a Different Path, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. It was the month of October once more, and it was in that month that Naruto hated living more than any other, as his birthday and Kyuubi's death was on the same day. A day when villagers would celebrate at a festival over the fox's supposed demise to make the children feel safe. It was also the day when the villagers in the grand bold or increasing drunkenness went to his apartment that was now destroyed completely to trash it to make it look like it was inhabitable. It was about October 7th, approximately 3 solid days before his birthday, that was October 10th, and the festival in Konoha. Those stupid villagers and their foolish arrogance towards Naruto just proves to me just how inferior the human race is in so many ways. Makes me proud to be a demon now rather than the human I once was. If I could break free from this seal completely, I would destroy them all in a single heartbeat, leaving only those who Naruto cares about to rebuild an arrogant and hatred-free village, thought Slade, remembering when the boy tried to enter the festival and paid for it dearly. Naruto had tried to go once and ended up in the worried Hokage's arms, barely breathing after the villagers and some ninja assaulted him relentlessly when he tried to participate. The only one to give him a gift on his birthday was the Hokage, and later on the Chunin ninja Iruka, who felt that since he couldn't go to the festival alone, had decided to visit Naruto with the Hokage one night and had come ever since. Looks like I won't get my gift this year. Oh well, I was used to it before. What's one more year? Thought Naruto to himself, or at least so he thought, as Dragona and Slade were listening to his thoughts on this matter, as he was their vessel after all, and his safety both physically and mentally was their prime concern if they were to live in his body. Naruto, I have to leave our body for a while to talk to both Hiei and Kurama about giving you some last-minute additions to your training. I will be back shortly, thought Slade to Naruto, which the boy gave a nod, sensing the fox demon leave his body and materialize before him before leaving to take care of his work. Tell me, Naruto, I have not been to your human world before. What is it like living in the village? Said Dragona, trying to start up a conversation with him so she could learn more about her vessel's world better. In a nutshell, well, it's actually quite nice once you get past the arrogant people and their hateful stares at you for being something you had no control over. My personal favorite spot in the whole village is the Hokage monument, where I used to think sometimes on top the head of my old man, the 4th Hokage. I dreamed that I would become Hokage once, and that I would surpass everyone, and that they would apologize to me for all the mean things they did in the past to me. Ever since I had that dream, I wanted, no, desired it with all of my heart, so I could be just like the other Hokages. Only when I became the Hokage, I would be considered the greatest of them all, like Dad was, only I would surpass even him, thought Naruto as he felt. Talking to Dragona was refreshing, as it made him feel like a weight was lifting off his shoulders. Elsewhere with Slade. You want us to what? Said Hiei, looking at Slade like he was crazy. Well, crazier than the usual type of crazy he was used to. You heard me, Hiei. I want you and Kurama to set up a small birthday party on October 10th for Naruto in celebration for his birthday 3 days from now on the said date. He has no one to celebrate his birthday with this year, as he has done several times in the past. When that damned festival came around and he tried to attend, they assaulted him with everything but the kitchen sink. He needs to know that there are people in this world, in both human and demon, who would gladly celebrate his birth instead of those who hated it, said Slade, knowing that the boy needed comfort this year more than the others, as he was without those who would celebrate his birthday with him. Slade does have a point, Hiei. You of all people know what it's like to live and be alone without anyone glad that you are alive. At least your sister believes you are and honors your life even now. The least we can do is give Naruto the same respect in honoring his with a birthday, said Kurama, knowing that the mentioning of Hiei's sister would sway the fire demon's normally and ironically cold heart. Fine. But all I'm doing is getting him a gift that will mean something that he will hold to long after he becomes a man. Not some childish plaything of a toy, said Hiei, knowing that a real gift one would cherish was something that held honor and respect. I don't care if you dressed up as a clown with your gift, you be there and make Naruto happy, or I'll tear out that eye of yours and hand it to your sister in a doggy bag, said Slade as he was finding Hiei's attitude towards this to be very annoying to him. Slade. Hiei. Don't do this please. We are here for Naruto and to celebrate his birthday, not to settle a possible war between you two. That is the last thing he needs right now, is you two fighting over this, as he will most likely blame himself, said Kurama as he was now getting between the two so no blood would be shed, at the moment. You are right Kurama, this is for Naruto. I already have my gift ready and I expect you two to have your ready by then as well. Or else, said Slade as he turned around and left them to go back to Naruto, leaving the two to their own things. I think I know what to get him. What about you Hiei? Said Kurama as Hiei had never gotten anyone a gift unless you counted painless deaths with his sword. I have something in mind for it, but as to what you won't know till I give it to Naruto, said Hiei, who immediately with his speed disappeared to who knows where. Human world 3 days later. Everyone was gearing up for the Kohona festival that night as decorations, food stands, and game areas were being set up for the big event. Meanwhile, some of the more rowdy villagers who hated Naruto with a purpose asked some of the ninja who hated him just as much if not more where the boy's new residence were, as his apartment was no longer a solid target. The ninjas had told them what was told to everyone within the ranks, that the boy was somewhere away from the village and his whereabouts were unknown. This of course made the villagers happy at first, but then scared as they realized that the demon boy could return to K them all any moment. We have to do something to try and K him when he returns, whispered one of the villagers as they sat in a small bar keeping their voices down as they knew some of the demon lovers in the room were around. We can't. The Hokage loves the boy and trying to K him would be like treason in the old man's mind if he found out we would make an attempt to do this, whispered villager number 2, remembering how he heard the rumor of the one woman who had hurt the boy at the orphanage be killed by the late wife of the current Hyuga head clan. We could at least try. If we succeed, then maybe we can try to rally support for us from all of the council elders and villagers who hate the brat. We may even get a pardon for doing everyone a favor and king the demon, whisper villager number 3. What about that bodyguard of his? I heard from a reliable source in the Anbu that this guy killed a good deal of people who were mean to the boy, including the boy's landlord, whispered villager number 2. He can't be with him all the time, you fool. When they come back we wait till the demon is alone and then we get him in a sneak attack, whispered villager number 1, believing that the man had to leave something as it was not like they were joined at the hip or anything. Meanwhile at the Dango shop, Anko had never forgotten what had happened all those months ago in the hospital with the 9-tailed demon fox that was formerly known as QB, now Slade. How he had pranked her with an exploding paint bomb, get well, card covering her and the hospital room she was in rainbow paint. She hated rainbow paint. What was more infuriating to her was that the demon apparently had dirt on her involving the incident after he had supposedly left her with the card. I'll K him, I know I will, thought Anko as she had seen the picture given to her by Kurenai one day when she being her usual old self on the outside. Anko had been bugging her about going out with Kakashi on a date once more one night at the bar as they were, or rather Anko was, drinking sake. Kurenai was getting annoyed by Anko's antics when the woman would make such comments loud enough for others to hear, making it seem like Kurenai actually liked the book reading pervert. Kurenai had no choice but to force her hand with what Slade had given her and showed it to Anko and let Anko keep one of the 2 copies she had in exchange for the woman to shut up. Of course Anko did after that, but that didn't mean she couldn't pester him if someone else brought it up, like Kakashi himself. As it turned out, Kakashi, Anko, Kurenai, and Asuma were all in the dango shop together, enjoying the taste of naturally the dango that they served. So, have you heard anything lately about Naruto, Kurenai? Said Kakashi, reading his book normally, though inside he was slightly angry at the demon despite what the third Hokage had told him. Kurenai looked at Kakashi in surprise at his question and wondered why he would even think of asking that. Then again she realized the man obviously still hated Slade because he took away his teacher and father figure away from him. No. According to what the third knows of Demon World, from what Slade told him, it is a place where demons go to be, well, demons when they are not in hell. It's their own place for demons to call their own, with rules and regulations just like we have here in the human world, said Kurenai as the professor had told her that much. I bet they never had anyone come into their world and destroy all they hold dear. Lousy demons, said Kakashi, frowning slightly, but noticeably as he whispered those last 2 words from his mouth. Come on Kakashi, you can't hold a grudge against someone who was manipulated and placed under a genjutsu like that. What would your sensei the fourth Hokage say? Said Asuma as he took a drag of his cancer stick before taking a bite of dango into his mouth. He would say K all demons who K their senseis, said Kakashi flatly, now turning the page of his book faster than usual, nearly tearing the page in the process. Even if it means king an innocent kid like Naruto. Said Asuma, waiting for Kakashi's response, being a no, as were the two ladies listening. If I answered, you would have to report me for treason, said Kakashi, his frown leaving as he continued reading his perverted book. Kurenai, on the other hand, frowned at Kakashi's remark and couldn't believe his response to Asuma's question. Anko, on the other hand, decided to nip this in the bud in her own snake-charming fashion. Oh come on Kakashi. Afraid of a little compassion from your sensei's cur for Kurenai, said Anko, making Kakashi scowl as he stopped mid-turn of a page. Anko, shut up will you, said Kurenai, shocked as she was now blushing slightly over the implied that she had a thing for Slade while Kakashi had thing for her. Why should she? Is it true you have feelings for him? Said Asuma, nudging Kurenai in the side only to receive a sharp one himself from her to knock it off. You are implying too much. In any case, you should ask Anko about what he did in the hospital in giving her a get well card. It's quite a story, said Kurenai, getting a death glare from Anko as her sleeves were itching slightly to release her shadow snakes on the now smirking woman for bringing that embarrassing moment in her life up. Back in Demon World, Naruto felt better than he normally did when his birthday was around, though it did miss the moments where old man Hokage would come visit him with Iruka. Still, given all that had happened and the circumstances, he couldn't complain. It is better than having a mob of angry villagers just chase after you anyway, thought Naruto as he went to see Hiei and Kurama at the Fox Demon's Office of Surgical Operation for an evaluation on the Jaganai for record. It was understandable, as he as well as Hiei were the only ones to have the eye obey them without having its own agenda by rejecting them or king them with the dragons they had called for. When he entered the reception room that was once used for many patients that would need surgery, till he walked to the conference break room where he was supposed to meet the two demons. When he opened the door, he was surprised to see streamers with a big cake and banner that said in big orange and black fiery letters, "Happy 12th birthday Naruto." That was said by Kurama, Hiei, Slade, and Dragona. Naruto was speechless, as he didn't think he would have a chance to celebrate his birthday at all, including Demon World. But here before him were those who taught him, trained him, and made him feel like he was worth more than those hateful villagers back home. Thank you. I owe you so much. You didn't have to do this for me, said Naruto, bowing his head as it was the only thing he could do. Told you he would say something like that. You owe me 20 blood rubies, said Hiei before Kurama sighed and gave him a bag filled with the wager they had made. However, that does not mean I am ungrateful, as I meant that your generosity towards me has been limitless. It means a lot to me that you are doing this, said Naruto as he raised his head, showing a rare smile that was neither fake nor a mask. Told you it wasn't going to be the depressing way of saying that. You owe me a bag of 50 blood rubies, said Kurama as he got his bag back plus another bag with 50 in them, while Hiei grumbled about Kurama's intellect outdoing him again. Enough you two. Let's just celebrate with eating cake and Naruto opening his presents, said Slade as he had now materializing beside Naruto at a hand on the boy's shoulder. Thank you Slade sensei, said Naruto, bowing his head respectfully, making Slade smile beyond his mask. And so they ate, with the exception of Dragona and Slade, as they couldn't do to one being attached at the boy's arm and other not wanting to remove his mask to show his scarred face. The cake was designed by Kurama, who had done all of the work with the banner and streamers that went along with his. The cake had vanilla icing with black and orange colored icing around the edges, with a dragon on one side with the fox on the other that showed off the grace and dignity perfectly. Man, Kurama sure knows how to make a cake. Maybe he can teach me so I can have other things besides instant ramen when I get home. Thought Naruto as he gave a thumbs up to Kurama, saying the cake was good. After feasting on the cake till it was all gone with full bellies from the two demons and one Naruto, who was finally able to have a chance to open his presents. Here is my gift to you. Cherish it well, as I made it myself just for you to hold and wield, said Hiei as he presented him with a sword like his, only with a dark dragon and a fiery orange-like fox symbol near the hilt of the sword on the flat of the blade. Cool. This blade looks perfect. Now I can really cut loose in my sword perfection, said Naruto happily as he examined the blade and the dark sheath it came in. The sword can channel a dragon from your hand into the sword for as long as you wish, either separately or together with Slade chakra, making the blade a cut above the rest. The sheath is similar to mine, as it is resistant if not immune to fire and ice-related attacks and will endure even the harshest of conditions in your travels. Since you are still very much a growing boy, so will your sword and sheath at a gradual pace to keep up with the increase in your height till you stop growing, said Hiei with a small smile on his face, as he had felt a great deal of pride in making that sword and having the sheath crafted just for him. Here is my gift, said Kurama, handing the boy a book of his personal favorite foods and the recipes he made himself to make them become a reality. All right, now I can survive off more than ramen at the stand or that I make at home. I mean, I like ramen and it is great and all, but considering that it helped make me short, I will only eat it every once in a while, said Naruto, getting a small chuckle from Kurama at the boy's enthusiasm of cooking. And of course we save the best for last, said Slade, walking up to Naruto facing the boy with his palm open as if he were holding in his hand, and within moments a summoning scroll appeared in his hands. Is that a contract for summoning? Said Naruto, looking at the large thing in front of him as it was now handed to the boy, who took it carefully from Slade as if it were a living, breathing thing. Yes, Naruto. It is a fox summoning contract for demon foxes like myself that when you ask for one, depending how much chakra you use, will appear before you to obey you as you see fit. It was the special gift I was going to give your father at the time of. Well, you know, it is slightly different from other summoning contracts you have heard of, like the toadsouth of frogs, snakes, slugs, and so forth, because this one was to Arashi's family alone and all who are his descendants. In this case, you, Naruto, and only you at the moment, can have the demon fox summoning contract, as both your father and mother are and you are the only one who can sign it now. That is, of course, until you settle down and have little Narutos of your own with your wife, who can also sign it should she so wishes to, said Slade as he now watched Naruto unroll the scroll before biting his right thumb that wasn't covered by the bandages over his right lower arm and signed on the dotted line. The scroll had many slots, so it wasn't limited to only a small few, as they were for those of the Kazama or Uzumaki descent. This meant now that Naruto was the only one who could write his signature below Kazama Arashi and Uzumaki Hikari's slots. The two signing slots that were theirs to sign now had deceased written in the once empty slots, meaning no one could forge their signature in blood or enter their name into the slot illegally. Next to Naruto's slot was a blank spot meant for his wife to sign in the future to be a part of the contract. For a moment the thought of Hinata becoming his wife had popped into his head, making him blush, and shook those thoughts away as he was too young to think about that still. Dragona, however, thought otherwise. It is a real shame I cannot give him anything for his birthday, but maybe I can help him turn this relationship with this Hinata girl he seems to adore, thought Dragona as she was scheming of how to get those two to take their relationship with each other to the next level. Human world 3 months later. The third Hokage was having another headache again, as it seemed to be with every other meeting he had with the council. They had discussed the daily things of the village, from increasing or decreasing the ninja academy budget, the expansion and zoning permits, to expanding businesses in Konoha, and then once more onto the subject of one Uzumaki Naruto. When Sarutobi finally told them what he had discovered and punished certain ninjas for sabotaging the boys' tests, grades, and the cooperation of the shinobi running the library denying him access to learn, the council was irate. If only Arashi were here to see this, he would have let Slade in his crazy-like state run right through here, thought an angry Sarutobi as he looked at each one of the scowling elders in front of him. It was not the type of irate behavior that the third liked when it involved Naruto and the council elders. They had been displeased when they discovered that when the boy came back he would be officially declared a genin. Even more so, they did not know exactly where the boy had gone to and that he was not declared an S-class missing ninja. Sarutobi told them that Naruto was traveling with a Junin class ninja who for the sake of secrecy remained anonymous on an official mission, so even if the council wanted to label Naruto missing they couldn't. Even more so is if they did put him in the bingo book they would have to state why he is S-class, meaning that they would have to divulge to an extent his power, making him a prime candidate for people to hire for potential mercenary work or possible recruitment to an enemy village. Lord Hokage, we the council ask that when Uzumaki Naruto becomes an official genin he is to be restricted from all future missions until he can be evaluated both mentally and physically by our top specialist in the field, said Danzo, an influential member on the council, as he didn't want the weapon of Konoha to be unstable or untrustworthy to the village. You don't trust Naruto's mental or physical state. On what grounds? Said Sarutobi, his headache leaving momentarily as this was a new one to him, as this had never been asked before. The way the boy was acting as of late before his disappearance, and we feel that in order to make sure that Naruto is not going to release the demon in him or have it take control of him. We need to see if the boy is as stable as you claim or a threat as some of the other clans in Konoha assume he is. The Yamanaka clan have insight into one's mind like no other, and they could easily see if the boy is unstable or not, said Homura Mitokado as he felt the same way, but slightly different than Danzo. After all, Homura was not the warhorse of the group like Danzo was when it came to the development of the Kyuubi vessel. When Naruto returns, I will speak to him about it on the day after the graduation exam, as I'm sure he wants to get settled in. Doing it right away when he gets back from his training would probably not be healthy for his mental and physical state, now would it? Said Sarutobi, who knew if he didn't do this now the elders would just make things worse. Besides, it was not uncommon to do such a thing with ninja every once in a while to see if they were still sane after some of the more darker mission one would perform. Such an examination of the boy could go either way, but knowing Naruto, he will pass with flying colors, like he should have in the previous Genin exams, thought the third as he left his meeting with elders, hoping he just didn't sign Naruto's death sentence by agreeing to it for when the boy returned. Demon World 3 long months later. Ever since Naruto got his gifts from his teachers, the boy was training with them non-stop to make sure he could perform them perfectly. During those 3 long grueling months he had mastered his chakra control by training to fight while tree and water walking. Naruto had mastered the final stage of the Rasengan by swirling the ball of energy in his hands in more than one area inside the ball. Not only that, but the summoning contract worked out perfect for Naruto, as he could summon not just one fox, but practically a whole army of demon foxes with his chakra. Incredible. If only Arashi could see him now. If only he were my son, what a demon he would have made, thought Slade as the boy launched orb into a tree, obliterating it into nothing. What Naruto found to be even more incredible was that since he had Slade's fox senses and other abilities, he could talk to the ones who didn't know human tongue as well as those who did and could respond back with it. Oh man, I can't wait to use these guys. Take that, dog boy, thought Naruto as he had informed the foxes he summoned with his chakra and explained to them what had happened to Slade and the fox being bonded to him. Dragona also helped by producing a large amount of dragons for her host, as she let him summon one of the male, prince, dragons to help with training with his new sword. She had produced over 10 female, princess, dragons, while in Naruto's arm, and sticking true to his deal, the female, princess, dragons left his arm soon after to go into the depth of Demon World to ascend to being queen dragons. Of course not before each one of them that left bid him farewell before departing his body to leave, as Dragona had taught him to respect him for doing this for her. After all, Naruto was one of the 2 components that gave her dragon children life, so in a sense he was their father. A dad. Please, I'm still a kid, how can I be considered a father even on a technicality, thought Naruto, and now he blushing out of full embarrassment of the idea of him being a father. Call it what you will, but the fact remains that your chakra makes up a part of my, or rather our children. They have a part of you in them, thus making them your children, technicality or not, thought Dragona, as she could understand that he was embarrassed for a reason, as not many 12-year-olds become a father of countless, prince, as well as, princess, dragons. I understand that, Dragona, but I don't think I shouldn't tell anyone that except maybe the Hokage, or else the people back home will see me as a demon producing offspring. They would castrate me, thought Naruto, as the idea of such thing happening to him made him shiver both internally or externally. Not while I'm around, they're not. Trust me, Naruto, no one is going to take that away from you as long I am here inside of you. Plus you still have to make sure it is put to good use with Hinata. Thought Dragona, making the poor boy blush in embarrassment and faint again, making the queen dragon of the darkness flame laugh her fiery head off, much to the disdain of Slade, who was going to have a talk with Dragona in private. In the meantime, Slade would just have to train Naruto in adopting his own calm, cold, calculating attitude for when they return 2 months from now. Wait till they see the new and improved Naruto. The poor boy will have his own fan club before the day he returns to Konoha is out, thought Slade, as more of the changes to boy's physical makeup made their appearance, making Naruto look more sly, but nonetheless handsome to that of the opposite S. Human World 1 month later, Konoha Ninja Academy. Hinata was normally a patient girl, just as she used to be shy. well shyer than she was now, as she had gained a great deal of confidence in herself from before. However, she was finding that she was becoming slightly less patient and more impatient as the months had dragged on. Why? Because she was waiting for Naruto to show up again and be with near if not around her once more. Naruto, the boy that she had admired for so long, had been gone from her life for nearly a year. Now, however, the time of his return was upon her, and it was in her mind becoming almost unbearable to withstand at wondering it. What did he look like now? Did he still remember her? Would he like her more than a friend? Hinata blushed at the mere thought of that and felt she was getting ahead of herself, though if she was, she didn't want to take a step backwards. Hey Hinata, come sit here with me and Akamaru, said Kiba as he was sitting with his dog petting the animal as they sat outside eating lunch. Hello Kiba. How are you? Said Hinata, who couldn't help but still stutter like she used to before, but fortunately it wasn't as much as it had been before Naruto left. Good. Say, I have a question. Has your dad ever talked to you about Uzumaki Naruto? Said Kiba, who in his ignorance and stupidity failed to notice the girl's blush at the sound of the boy's name. Not really. Do your parents talk about him? Said Hinata, who was technically lying, and though she hated it, she had to be suspicious of those around her who would hate Naruto for what they thought he was and not for what he truly is, in her mind anyway. Not around me in general, but sometimes at night when they think I'm asleep they talk about him and how he is this monster, as they put it. I mean, I saw the kid growing up, and also how could he be? I mean, the kid couldn't even pass the Genin exam twice. I mean, he may be an idiot and a loser compared to me, but still, a monster. Said Kiba, still missing Hinata's reactions to his words as her face showed shock, sadness, anger, more anger, and finally near having a fit status. Before Kiba knew it, Hinata had left the now confused boy scowling with her Byakugan activated, trying to find something she could hit that wasn't human being. Though with the way the villagers treated Naruto, it wouldn't be far off to mistake one or two of them as a possible training dummy should she feel the urge to hurt one of them. You'll show them, Naruto-kun. When you come back I will be here waiting, and if no one else will help you with your dream of being Hokage, then I will. Thought Hinata as she decided to head back to the classroom with her bloodline deactivated now, so she decided that she should speak to Iruka-sensei about what she had heard, as she knew from the Junin Kurenai that Iruka knew about his secret too. Demon World, end of the final month. His training was nearly complete here in Demon World, where he had been treated like a human being, and now he was going home to his village where they treated like a demon. The irony of it all was that he had to be a demon vessel for it all to happen, and he didn't even ask for it. Naruto's shirt had long been destroyed for a good 2 weeks now, as he had lost it in one final training session with Hiei to see if he was able to surpass the master swordsman. Naturally he did, thanks to his speed being that was only a slight fraction of a second higher than Hiei's with the weights on. In return for besting him, Hiei gave him a box of orange and black headbands to conceal the Jaganai. These will come in handy big time, seeing as the Jaganai is going to be my secret weapon, thought Naruto as he thought of all the things he could do with his eye to make life more interesting. Naruto of course thanked Hiei, as they both knew that people would try to take the eye if they saw it on him right when he came back. Or even worse, they would try to accuse him of being the demon with the sudden unnatural change to his body that was the Jaganai. Take care of yourself out there, Naruto, and make me and Kurama proud, said Hiei as he had liked the kid in the year he had spent training the kid with his techniques. I will, Hiei-sensei, just make sure you visit your sister and tell her you are her brother. I bet she will want some closure as to who her brother is, said Naruto as he put on a black bandage over his now closed Jaganai, while Hiei nodded, finding the boy was normally right when it came ironically to family issues. I guess you need to be without a family to know how to handle one, thought Hiei as he Slade manifested himself once more out of Naruto's seal and began making hand signs. Demonic Jutsu, Human World Portal, said Slade, opening the rift between worlds so he and Naruto could enter with what they had. I guess we should stop by Old Man Hokage to get new clothes, as I can't go to the ninja academy like this, huh? Said Naruto as his shirtless form showed off his muscles he had achieved in his training. That's where I opened the portal to my boy. Let's go home, said Slade as Naruto put his sword by his waist and walked into the portal to Human World. They grow up so fast, don't they, Hiei? Said Kurama, who looked like he was about to cry with tears of happiness. Do not even think about hugging me, Kurama. If you do, I will remove your arms from your body, said Hiei calmly, though he moved slightly to his right away from the master thief and fox demon while arching his sword to it could be used to carry out his threat. Human world. That morning, the third Hokage sat in his office smoking his pipe peacefully for once while wondering if he had forgotten about anything pertaining to day. By the time he remembered, a purple vortex of a portal opened up in front of his desk, knocking over all his paperwork for the day. That meant he would have to reorganize all of it to sign the docents properly, and considering there were a lot of docents, it meant it was going to be a long day for him. I am the Hokage of this village with all the power as well as the strength of shinobi army in Konoha at my command, but the one thing I cannot do is take a simple little vacation to relax, thought the third before he saw, as expected, and remembered Naruto and Slade walking out of the door. Hey old man, you do still have my stuff from last year, right? Said Naruto, looking at the elderly man's now surprised expression at seeing the new Naruto. Naruto was much taller than the last time the Hokage saw him, and his exposed upper body was well built for that of a 12-year-old boy. This meant that whatever it was he went through must have been tough. There was no doubt that if the girls his age or around him saw what he looked like now, they would forget he was Uzumaki Naruto and would start a fan club dedicated just to him. The boy had on a dark, thin, in width, headband of sorts over his forehead that looked like it was either concealing something mysterious or that of a head wound. Must make a mental note to ask him about that later, thought the third Hokage as he continued to inspect the Uzumaki Naruto before him. His now a little less baggy pants were torn around his left leg area on the side, while he had a small S at the right kneecap. His right arm was heavily bandaged near up to his now more broadened shoulder, with a seal on the back of the right hand wrapping like it was containing something powerful. His left hand was bare, though it was resting by his waist that held a sword. The old Hokage had sensed the sword by his waist itself held what he considered to be very mysterious power, and he should be careful should it ever come out of its equally dangerously looking sheath it was stored in. Yes, your stuff is in that closet over there, said Sarutobi, pointing to the nearby closet while the Hokage just looked at Slade, who didn't move an inch. I take he gets his ninja headband at the academy with the other genin, said Slade, now breaking out of his statue-like appearance. Yes, I spoke to Iruka, who is ready to explain should and most likely any of the students ask why he is getting one. It's good to have you back, Naruto, said the third Hokage as he turned to see Naruto finish dressing in something dark and scary looking. Naruto was wearing black baggy pants again with the same combat-looking shoes Slade had on, while his upper body was covered in a combination of black, red, and orange that made him look like he was consumed in a dark hellfire. That was covered by a dark cloak of sorts that was covered in pure black like his pants. What is it with dark things that can make a kid like Naruto look so intimidating? Thought Sarutobi as he looked at Naruto further to see what other changes the boy had made on himself. It was then that Sarutobi noticed another difference in Naruto he had not seen before when he saw the full mane of the boy's hair. It was blonde with orange and dark black lighting-like streaks intertwined with each other, making him seem like a force to be reckoned with. The boy had covered up his face up to his eyes with a thin cloth to breathe out of, with a strong helmet attached to it. It was a shinobi mask the Hokage had not seen worn since before and during the last great shinobi war, with Arashi wearing it. The back of his arms had braces on them with 12 long 8-inch thick needle points on each one. In truth, the boy looked like a shorter, darker, and a much more scarier version of the fourth Hokage. All set to go. I have about 5 minutes to get there, right? Said Naruto, receiving a quick nod from Slade, and before the third Hokage could blink, the boy was gone in a flash of black, orange, and red like flame. Did he just? Said Sarutobi, looking on at amazement at the technique Naruto had just used to leave his office. Yes, though I'm sure you noticed it is of a different yet more powerful variety than what you saw all those years ago. That was the demon variety, to be more specific, said Slade, smiling behind his metal mask, knowing the blonde was going to make a big impact. The demon variety. I don't understand, said the third Hokage, as for the first time in the man's life since he had been a young genin was he stumped at what was just said to him. How do you think humans learn to use jutsus? They are the human form of the types of powers we demons possess that we gave to you humans. What Arashi learned was the human equivalent of that technique Naruto used, but since his time with me and all the training he has done, I was able to teach him the demon variety, meaning he doesn't need seals, he just has to have been in that spot before more than once. His mind embodied as the rest without the need of hand signs or seals on kunai, said Slade. That was how he did it and had earned him the reputation of being known as Hell's Flash, and he was sure Naruto would just take the name up in no time. Sarutobi was shocked at this new turn of events, as it had never occurred to him that all of the ninjutsus, genjutsus, and possibly some of the taijutsus that shinobi were taught were merely descendants of demon powers in human form. I see. What else have you taught the boy? Said the third, gesturing the demon lord to sit down so they could talk. Aside from the fact you will be able to retire again in a few more years at the rate he's been training. Sure, why not? Said Slade, sitting down as he told the man everything he felt the man needed to know. Kohono Ninja Academy. Approximately 5 minutes later. Iruka was about to begin his long boring speech about being the proud new generation of genin of Kohono, as he did every year with genin, when a knock at the door came. At this point Iruka was frowning, as he wasn't expecting any visitors during his speech, much less the Hokage, as he never had time anymore. Not with the Kohono Council of Elders now fully on the attack about what they should do with Naruto. Some suggestions went from killing him, to exiling him, or to altering his mind so he would just be a mindless weapon to use as they saw fit on suicidal missions, which would possibly kill him. I bet the old fools would never make such suggestions if it was their own son or daughter, thought Iruka as he went over to the door, but not moving his hand left near his pocket for 3 shrunken he kept with him. When the Chunin opened the door, he saw a boy in the purest form of shinobi attire he had ever seen since the 4th Hokage's, covered from head to foot, leaving only a pair of blue eyes looking at him. Hello Iruka-sensei. I'm back, said Naruto, whispered in just a loud enough voice for Iruka to hear before the man fainted from the news before hearing Naruto's laughter, as it was the last thing he heard before waking up. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.